2, 3.
Well, good evening, gang, and welcome to It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams, and I'm your host, and we're coming to you live from our beautiful studios here at BNN TV, and you're more than welcome to join us if you'd like. We're at 617-708-3290. Get you right to Dave and the great staff here at BNN to answer the phones. If you'd like to join us and talk a little bit about what you're doing artfully in your community or in your life, just let us know what's going on. I got to start by saying thank you for all of the birthday wishes. Yes, I am celebrating my 29th anniversary birthday today. I'm not quite 29 anymore, but I want to thank everybody for all of your great wishes and the great time we had yesterday. The super producer, Janice, invited just the right people to the house the other night, and it was great to have my music friends and family together to just hang out, have a nosh a bit, and celebrate a little bit. That was a lot of fun. I hope everybody's enjoying Passover out there. I want to make sure that everybody out there is celebrating a peaceful Passover this season through. And of course, and it's also Holy Week over there at Sacred Heart. So I want to wish everybody at my school where I teach a great upcoming Easter. It's Holy Week and all of that. So everybody, time to reflect, and it's a good time to sit down and do something artful. I have the kids doing in classes this week. We are discovering what music looks like and what art sounds like. So I'm playing a song for them, and they're drawing and painting what they hear, and it's quite an experiment. It's an awful lot of fun. They do some really fascinating things, and it's great. The other thing I want to talk about is this Saturday, the great Rosendale Village Main Streets is going to be having their egg hunt down in Rosendale Square at Adams Park. This is an event that for years and years has been one of my favorite because there'll be 500 carriages, kid carriages there. There'll be 700 to 1,000 kids with their parents down in Rosendale Square. They'll put out 6,000 or 7,000 eggs with little gifts and pieces of what have you inside. In the matter of 18 seconds, every one of those eggs will be gone. It is an event and something to see. It's going to be great. I will be there, not in my usual capacity since my retirement from the board of directors, but I'll be there with my grandkids to celebrate with everybody else and be part of the madness on the other side of the table. So I'm looking forward to that. Steve Gagg and the gang out there in Rosendale do a fabulous job. The other thing that's coming up that's real exciting is on the 4th of April, we're talking about redesigning Adams Park. There's been some money by the legislature that has, actually the city, has put some money aside to redesign and add some things to Adams Park, and I am just so thrilled that one of the main things they're going to be adding is a bandstand. Not a bandstand in the traditional sense, but something that we can have our performances and our bands and our acts for farmers at market and stuff perform on in a more professional. Instead of playing on the ground, you know, they're going to be building this kind of really cool bandstand down there. So we're very excited about that. But on the 4th at the community center in Rosendale Square at the corner of Cummins Highway and Washington Street, they're going to be having a meeting there, 6:30. Come on down and find out what the city's got in mind and voice your opinion on what you think we should have. The bigger the bandstand, the better, is my opinion, of course. But there's other things that need to be done. They're talking about changing some of the flowering and some of the shrubs and maybe some of the pathways, putting some work into some safety because it is an island and there is traffic around it. So, of course, one of the things that's very important is the safety of our younger citizens who will all be out there on Saturday. Remember that, guys, when you go down to this thing on Saturday. The safety of our younger citizens is the #1 goal. You put that many kids in an area, you got to use your eyesight doubly to make sure nobody gets, you know, away from us. So that's what's going on, actually. The great Suzanne Schultz is out on location. Actually, she's celebrating Passover with her family. We're hoping that her and her sons are going to be a peaceful togetherness this weekend and tonight. We'll miss her, but she'll be back next week, of course. We, as usual, have a great show. The producers of this program send us only the finest guests. And I learn something every week, I like to tell you. And we're going to be talking with the great Andrew Swaine's in the building. He's the guy that does all of the videos that we use here, the Canvas Fine Arts does. He's not only that, he's a phenomenal photographer, great friend, and I'm glad to have him in. I'm always asking to get Andrew in here because he's a good friend and a great artist. We're very, very fortunate to have him. And artist Donna Dodson is here. We're going to be seeing some of her work and learning a little bit about her process. And it's always great to meet an artist. You know, you say, oh, how many times can you meet an artist? A new artist is a new experience for me. You learn something new all the time. So it's kind of like just a new thing for me tonight to learn. So I'm excited about that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do my regular thing. I'm going to talk a little bit about Main Streets because Main Streets is the organization that keeps us on air here. And we're very, very fortunate and happy to have our partnership with them. Main Streets is the organization that helps revitalize business districts around the city. Now, all you people that have been tuning in for the last few years, hear me do this. But we're reaching out now, and we've got a lot of new viewers. I know that there's a new set of viewers that have been watching us from Bangor, Maine now. Hello, Bangor. How are you? It's good to welcome to the show. People are getting on the website now and following our program. We're very, very fortunate for that. So we're kind of reaching out and getting all these people. We've got people in Portland, we've got people in Illinois, there's people in New York, people in London. I mean, we've got people all over the place that have actually been tuning into this show. So we thank you for your joining us. But the Main Streets program is an organization that helps revitalize business districts. Now, what they do is it's threefold. They have one committee, one part of the organization, works with the property owners and lets them know what the demographic area is, so they'll know what kind of business to put in that storefront down front. You know, there's 5 nailed, places in the neighborhood. They say, well, you might want to shy away from that because what people are looking for is something else. So they'll have all of that information that they do because they do all the surveys and they do all of the polling of people around in that business district, in that community, in, we'll say, High Park. And they talk to them and ask them what kind of businesses they'd like to see in their business district. And they give that information to the property owner so the property owner knows the right business to put down there. Once the business is in there, they work with the business owner so that they can do the right kind of design. They help a lot with signage. Signage is so important. I mean, if you have this kind of, sign up there, it's not very inviting for people to come in and enjoy what you have to offer them. So they help, there's a whole committee of design people that are engineers, architects, all kinds of people that are on these committees that get together and help a business owner get the proper kind of signage. Never mind the permitting and all that stuff they've got to go through with the city to get the right kind of information. And there's also a program where they'll help pay for some of it. And if you take the money, like they'll pay 50% of the cost of the fabrication of the sign, and they'll help pay for that if you get rid of the grates. Now, I know, people get their business, they mortgage the house, they put all of their savings into this mom and pop store, and they want to protect it. But one of the things that we're finding out is that the more vibrant a business district is, the more people put pride in what they're doing with their community, the less that kind of violence or that kind of intrusion we have. So we're very, very proud of that. When Rosendale first started, the whole square was graded. Now, if there's 2 out of all the stores down there that have grates, I'd be surprised. So they do that. Then there's the promotions committee that does the egg hunt, the tree lighting, all of the Taste of Rosendales, all of the farmers markets across the city, all of that stuff. So if you see an event that's going on, they do that to bring people down to the business district to discover it. Oh, I didn't realize there was this, that, and the other thing down here. So they, excuse me, if you see an event going on and there's someone with a Main Street sweatshirt or T-shirt or jacket on, thank them, because they're volunteers. That's right, it's a volunteer-driven organization. So thank them, because they're just doing it because they love their neighborhood, just like you do. So give them a pat on the back and thank them. Tell them you heard it here. The other thing I want to talk about is this phenomenal building that we're in, BNN TV. We are in a refurbished power station that used to be the power station that ran the Orange Line that went down Washington Street from Forest Hills to parts unknown, I guess, on the other side of the city. I only went as far as Washington Street, but I know it goes further than that. But the Orange Line, back when it was the elevated going down Washington Street, this was the power station that supplied the power for that. There were 3 big generators in here, humming all the time, keeping the Orange Line running. And a couple of years ago, while I was on the board of directors here, we bought the building with Urban Edge, and we turned it into these beautiful studios here. There's a twofold thing happening here. One of them is that there is the access side. You join, you become a member, you come and take these great Final Cut Pro classes. You learn how to use these amazing cameras, these brand new digital high-end cameras that we have here. You learn about lighting, you learn about field production, you learn about how to do the sound, how to set up a set, how to do a shoot outside, and you put your program on TV just because you can. And this is the place to come and do that. BNN TV turns the power on, and it turns your opportunity on to get you to learn how to do television. If you're sitting at home going, that guy, I can do that. Yes, you can. And this is the place you do it. If you go to www.bnntv.org and click on, I guess it's Janice Williams now is the manager of the membership manager, and Jim Atwood. I also like to steer people towards Jim Atwood, because Jim's been with Access TV since black and white TV. So he knows all the ins and outs about Access TV. Sorry, Jim. And those are the guys, those are the 2 people you want to talk to about becoming a member. The other side of BNN is this nonprofit news and information side. Now, what happens here is nonprofits get an opportunity to come on TV and talk about their thing, whatever their nonprofit is. Get their mission across, get their message across to the public, bring guests in to sit and talk about it so people will be educated about what's going on in the city. This is the place to do it, www.bnntv.org. Click on those 2 names, Janice Williams and Jim Atwood. They can give you all the information that you need. Do it, and do it now, because this is an opportunity that is supplied by the city and by BNN TV, by Comcast. It's something that we're very, very proud of here. You know I'm proud of it. I talk about it all the time, and I've been doing it for quite a while. So you can too. So listen, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to look at we're going to check out one of those videos from the low budget vault. I know I keep telling you I'm going to be bringing new ones in, but I never get around to it because I'm lazy sometimes. But I promise to get over that. I promise, in my old age. So listen, hang in there, gang. You are watching BNN TV's It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams, the host, and you're coming to you live from our beautiful Studio B here at BNN TV. You can join us, 617-708-3290. Get you right here. So we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Please don't go away. We have a great show for you. Donna will be up in just a couple of minutes. Thanks.
comes a time when everybody needs to be with someone. Well, now's the time when I have realized you're that someone. How could I have been so blind when you have been there all this time? I need you, I want you. Can I have you by my side? 'Cause I love you and I want you. Can I have you by my side? How could I have been so blind when you have been there all this time? I need you, I want you. Can I have you by my side? 'Cause
Well, welcome back, gang. Thanks an awful lot for hanging in there with us. You are watching BNN TV's It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams. I'm the host. Suzanne Schultz is out on location. Actually, she's celebrating Passover with her family. And right now, it's my great pleasure and honor to introduce you to a fabulous artist. We're very, very proud to have her in the studio with us, Donna Dodson. Hello, Donna. How are you?
Good, how are you, Glenn?
Welcome to the studio.
Thank
Did you
you.
find us okay in that maze of streets between here and your location?
I did, I walked over.
You walked over. You are truly a local artist.
I am.
And how long have you been in Jamaica playing?
Since '96.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so you know your way around now, don't you?
I do.
I like when I have a new artist on. I always like to ask. There's so many categories. There's so many different labels people can put on their work. If somebody says, "Well, gee, Donna, what kind of an artist are you?" If you had to put a label, and I know sometimes it's an unfair question, what would you call? What are you as far as an artist?
Predominantly a sculptor.
A sculptor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But is there different kinds of sculpture that you're doing? Is it stone? Is it
wood?
It's
Yeah,
wood sculpture. Okay,
yeah.
there's the category.
Okay.
Great. How long have you been doing that?
Probably since I moved over here in '95, I would say. I studied with Joe Wheelwright in his studio in the South End.
Okay.
And learned how to carve wood.
Okay.
And
Is that when you was that when you started to become an artist? Is that when art kind of took over for you?
yeah, visual art.
Visual art?
Yeah, I graduated from college in 1990 and
Okay.
wrote a lot of poetry. So
Oh, you were a writer as well,
Yeah, I
a
was
poet.
a writer before
Good for you.
sculpture.
Good, good.
So-
Those spoken word is such a. This used to be such a mecca, Boston and Cambridge for spoken word.
Absolutely.
You know, and I know that Brother Blue brought it back a lot. You
Right,
know, with
right.
Cantab and all that, and I hope it comes back strong again because it was something that I really enjoyed going to, slams and stuff.
Yeah, they
you
used
know?
to have one at Crohn's Harvest in Jamaica Plain. I
Yeah,
used to come to.
yeah, they used to
and
have one over
New
in-
words.
Yeah,
and
yeah. So, do you ever get back to any of that?
Not a lot. I do a lot with sculpture, and so that was sort of the crossover, I guess, '95, and started studying, and yeah, just.
Now, when you say wood sculpturing, there's a chainsaw back here. Should I start this up? Is that one of your tools?
That's one of my predominantly. I work with an electric chainsaw.
Really? Now, I've seen people do ice sculptures with
Right,
chainsaws and
right.
these knives and stuff. Is it kind of similar to that? Are you removing pieces to you know, kind of?
Exactly. I work inside, so it's actually an electric chainsaw, not a gas one.
Okay,
But
good.
yeah. But
Good.
yeah, trying to get the piece that's in there liberated from all the other
That's
not
yeah.
essential pieces.
Well, that's the way. That's the liberating the piece of art from that piece of. What kind of wood do you start with a chunk of tree trunk and get carving away at it?
Yep.
Well, that's fabulous.
Yep.
How long does a piece take? Let me back that question up a little bit. Do you sit and look at this hunk of tree and say, I know what's in there and I want to bring it out? Or is it there a process? Do you kind of get chipping away until you kind of discover what's in there? Or do you kind of have a plan?
It depends.
Okay.
I mean, if it's a commission, I have a plan.
All right.
Someone wants me to carve a hippo.
Right.
So I'm carving a hippo, trying to find the right piece of wood. I definitely am looking at the shape of the wood. I look at the shape and think, oh, that's an elephant.
Okay.
Then I know. Or a bird, that's a bird. I can see it. Yeah.
Now, is everything as we're going to see some images? You brought some beautiful images for us to see. Do you also, after you've chopped it up and made kind of a mess out of the living room, you do have a space to work in? I'm assuming, yeah. So you're not working at the kitchen table.
No,
Okay.
it is my living room.
It is.
It would
Not
be a living
anymore.
room, but not anymore.
But does the size of the tool begin to get smaller the closer you get to the finished piece?
The
I mean,
wood,
do you
the wood
start
gets
using
a lot,
chisels and
yeah,
stuff?
little tiny files and little tiny, you know, like whittling tools.
Yeah.
Small, very small chisels. Yeah.
Now, how long does a piece generally take?
Anywhere from, a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month if it's
Really?
a really big piece. Yeah.
Oh, how big do they get?
I'm doing a commission in Connecticut in June, and that'll be 8 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a woman's beloved tree that I think Sandy clobbered, and she ordered
And you're
the arborist.
restoring it
yeah,
forever.
She ordered the arborist to leave 8 feet because she just needed.
So this will
something.
still be in the ground.
It will be, yeah.
What's the lifespan of something like that?
Pretty much is,
You'll finish it off with some kind of a polyurethane or
preservatives.
something like that?
Yeah.
Depending on the finish you want, obviously, right?
Well, it'll turn gray. I mean, eventually all wood pretty much outside will turn gray and weather.
That's great. How many, do you work on multiple pieces? If it takes that long, I'm assuming that there's got to be, is there the commission corner and then is there the Donna corner?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got several projects going now. I've a hippo for a private client and a tiger mother for the Christian Science Plaza.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank
Was
you.
that something you were asked to commission for, or did you?
Yeah,
They came to you for that?
Well, the Boston Sculptors Gallery is doing a big group show in the Christian Science Plaza.
Oh, great!
From May to October, so I'm doing
Oh.
outdoor work.
I'm gonna have to go down.
Not in wood, in styrofoam with cement on the surface.
Talk to me about that.
So you carve styrofoam,
Yeah.
buy a big billet, basically, carve it, and
Yeah.
then put stucco just on the surface, maybe a ½ inch or 3/4 inch thick.
And hope it doesn't rain.
No, cement's
I guess.
likes rain.
Yeah.
Wood doesn't.
So cement goes over the stucco,
yeah, it goes over the styrofoam.
over the styrofoam.
Yep, yep.
Well, that's
So it makes it
interesting.
heavier, and and then I'll paint it.
How do you move your pieces around? Is there-
U-Haul
Is there
trailer
you,
attached to my pickup truck.
a couple of friends and?
Couple of friends. Yeah, we don't actually pick it up. It's just tipping it down and standing it back up.
Oh, so you have to be able to get to the spot, get there, and tip it up, and there it lives.
Yeah.
You're also a proud member of Jamaica Plain. Jamaica Plain Open Studios.
Right.
Well, your space is right there, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
I have a live workspace.
Yeah.
Work inside my studio.
How long have you been doing open studios?
I moved into Jamaica Plain, I think 96.
So you've been
or
doing it ever
97.
since. Isn't it a great event?
Yeah.
It is the one that when we started, we said, well, we want to be like Jamaica Plain. I think everybody says that,
It's a very artsy community.
It's very artsy. And one of the things that I enjoy most about, I mean, they have the public spaces and stuff, but there are plenty of homes to visit.
Yeah.
And open studios, after all, is visiting an artist in their environment.
Yeah.
So that's really, really neat.
You get to see all the tools.
Yeah,
all
yeah. And the piece that's not done
pieces
yet.
of wood, drawings or pictures.
Or the one you've sunk an axe in because you've just had enough.
I never abandon it.
No, you don't. You don't give up, even if well,
Just get smaller.
There you go. Do you know the grain? Are there specific woods that are easier to work with than others?
Pine is really soft, but it's not actually great to work with because it's so soft that every time you move it, you know, or cedar, it's like you might damage it or get a nick, you know. So like the hardwoods are better: cherry, walnut, maple, mulberry, locust. I just work with wood I find or my friends find.
Oh.
So it's mostly local, predominantly 99% local wood.
So in other words, if somebody's falling a tree someplace, you've got a committee that's out there saying, Donna, you've got to get the truck over here. We've got some.
I'm very fortunate. My friends find most of my wood for me.
I'll bet. I love the idea though of the tree that was knocked down during the storm, and now it's going to get this kind of permanent thing, this permanent life.
Yeah, she really has a vision, which is an exciting type of client to work with.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
What is your studio? I'm going to call it your studio, not your living room. But what is your studio environment like? I mean, is there music playing all the time? Is there, you know, one day the Dead, next day, you know?
Yeah, I have a shuffle on iTunes. Yeah, music is super important to my studio.
And when you go back to a piece, and I ask all my guests this, do you have to recreate that environment? Let's say you're going to go back to that Donna piece, and it's something that you're creating and you're trying to find what's in there. Do you have to kind of recreate the environment a little bit?
It's definitely like having that intense kind of concentration and sort of that battle with the piece where you go at it, you feel like you made a mistake, you start hating it, and then you're really determined to pull it out a success. So yeah, there's a.
Can the grain of the wood have a say as far as where you're going to go?
It does, except you don't really see the grain until you're all done, finished, and
so you're surprised sometimes too.
Yeah.
Well, that must be fun.
Yeah, I mean you can plot a little bit where certain details might fall on the grain, but a lot of it you're not seeing. I'm much more looking at form until I'm all the way done. Then the grain is a nice surprise.
Is this your regular gig? Is this what you're doing?
Pretty much,
That's great. So you get up in the morning and the neighbors go, oh, Donna's working again.
Hopefully they're all at work.
So you get to sleep in. That's good. Okay, that works really well. We've got some images to take a look at. If we could just pull them up, and they'll be on the screen here. You can walk us through what we're looking at.
Okay.
Okay.
This is Trumpeting Elephant, and I've had 2 shows so far at the Boston Sculptors Gallery. The first one was a series of elephants.
How tall is this guy?
This is about 3 feet tall.
Oh, really? That's great.
And this was wood from my grandfather's farm in Illinois.
Oh, so these mean something.
Yeah. This was Osage orange.
Now the white part what is that?
Just paint.
Oh, okay, so you'll paint them too? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Elements, usually not the whole thing. And you can see how the grain of the wood almost looks like a lacy dress or a train.
It's great.
And so when I work outside, this is what I'm doing. I'm carving styrofoam and covering it in cement. This was out at Emerson Umbrella in Concord. It's been up in Vermont, and it's coming back to the Fruitlands Museum this year.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. And this is white stork. The woman who represents me in Provincetown asked me to carve a stork because she's from Poland, and storks are really dear to her. And so this is a piece of oak. And the second show I had at Boston Sculptors was Birds of a Feather.
Nice.
And all birds.
Yeah.
Bird-headed, female figures. And this.
Okay.
And then so that became kind of a model. I did a residency in Switzerland where we went for 5 weeks and worked. And I did the same. I carved styrofoam and covered it in cement. So that stork wound up being a maquette for what I did.
Very cool.
And that's in the Swiss Alps. And right now I'm working on the Tiger Mothers for the Christian Science Plaza. This is, again, a model of sorts. This is locust
How tall is
wood.
this piece?
Little. It's like 1.5 feet tall.
So they're mantle, too. They can be mantle pieces
Oh,
as
totally.
well, right? Yeah.
That's out in Albuquerque right now. I have a show out in New Mexico. And this is drawings. I proposed 1 tiger mother. They wanted 2, so I have to make 2. And they're going to be white cement. And then one's going to have black stripes and one's going to have red stripes. It's loosely based on the Battle Hymn of the Tiger Mother, the book that came out by Amy Chua.
Yeah.
Sort of controversial about parenting, Asian American parenting versus American parenting. But that was inspiring. So.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Which do you prefer, wood or the styrofoam?
Wood.
I mean,
Without hesitation.
really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
The grain, and it has a sensuality, and the grain has something to work with. It has
It's
a texture.
alive too. It used to be.
It's
was a
beautiful. It
thing.
smells nice.
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
It's small, or the styrofoam is big, and I have to have help. I have to have trailers.
On your day off, do you sit around and whittle?
Like, what's the day off?
I mean, when the basketball game's on, you're just sitting there. Do you get the?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, or like when I travel, I usually have a book. So I draw those tiger mothers I drew on the way out to New Mexico, or watercolors. I watercolor.
Oh, you paint
air
too?
painting, yeah, just like ideas.
What kind of paint do you use on the sculptures themselves? The wooden ones.
The wood ones are oil paint.
Oil
because they
paint?
don't raise the grain.
Right.
And the cement is acrylic.
Because you want to cover it, right? You don't want the grain to come through.
Well, if you put water-based paint on wood, it raises the grain. It gets like rough because it doesn't like water. Basically.
I have a beautiful jazz bass that's all natural wood. It looks better than it sounds. No, it sounds great too. But I just love the way wood looks, and I love it. And
right. It has a soul.
Makes me feel better playing it than some plastic-looking thing.
Right.
It's just so much more fun.
It has a connection.
Yeah. I'm going to steal a minute from Andrew. You did a residency where?
In Switzerland.
In Switzerland. How was that?
Wonderful. And
5 weeks in Switzerland.
Yeah, actually, I did that white stork piece because white storks breed in the Alps. They've been kind of successfully reintroduced to the Alps where they breed. And it attracted the attention of someone in the Netherlands who is a white stork fanatic who invited me to do a show with him this summer. So.
What's your website in case someone's watching from Spain who would like to invite you to do some?
That's good. Donna Dodson Artist.
Okay.
.blogspot.com.
Okay. What we'll do is we'll link that up to It's All About Arts because people go back later and say, what was that woman's name? They can click on your name and it'll go to your website. Okay.
Okay.
Donna, thank you so much for coming in. The closer we get to Open Studios, why don't you come on back? Tell us what you're going to be doing, okay? So we can talk a little bit more about that. And thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you.
It's a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Listen, gang, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Do not go away. It's only the first half of the show. The great Andrew Swaine's in the building. We're going to be sitting and talking with him in just a couple of seconds. Do not, I repeat, do not go away. We'll be right back. Thank you.
When I look into your eyes, I can see your mother's smile. I can see the moon and stars up in the sky. I can see beyond the blue. And I can see your dreams come true. When I look into your eyes, I can see the sands of time. I can see the hopes and dreams and all your fears, though they're sometimes filled with clouds. Your eyes have always done me proud. No one told you, bought and sold you this way before. I'll console you, help to mold you. Your confidence we will restore. When I look into your eyes, I gotta say that sometimes I can see the whole world looking back at me through you. And as long as this will be, told you, bought and sold you this way before. I'll console you, help to mold you. Your confidence we will restore. When I look into your eyes, I can see your mother's smile. I can see the moon and stars up in the sky. I can see beyond the blue. And I can see your dreams come true.
Thank you, folks, for hanging in there. My name's Glenn Williams. You're watching BNN TV's It's All About Art. We are coming to you live from Studio B here on Monday. So if you're watching one of the repeats, you're going to have to email me. But it's my great pleasure and honor to bring back old friend and great videographer, photographer, all-around great guy from Boston, Andrew Swaine. How are you, boss? Not from Boston now. You're not living in the area.
No, your last guest said she could walk over, and I could have done that when I
Could've
lived in
before.
JP, but that was 10, 12 years ago.
Andrew, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Andrew is responsible for all of the video things that we do kind of when we go out on location. When Suzanne goes into a gallery or to somebody's studio and does some work.
And you?
And I've had the great fortune to interview Tommy Toon, people like that. It's been great. Yeah, you do a great job for us, Andrew. You really have brought the outside part, you know, the outreach to the community and brought them back in. And that's really worked really well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's been fun too. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys, it's so fun working with you guys. I mean, I know you both. So.
Suzanne's great, isn't she?
Yeah, it makes it easy.
Her interviewing has gotten better.
Yes, yeah.
She's actually putting the microphone
In front of the person, yes.
I love the teacup though, and I kid her all the time.
Yeah.
But that's, you know, I don't ever want her to stop doing that.
Yeah.
You were a photographer for many years, and a great photographer. Are you doing any shuttering at all anymore?
Yeah, I still probably at least half of my business, but it's gone a lot more in the video direction. So,
all right, talk to me about that. What was the divide? What brought that part of?
I think technology, you know, because still cameras now can shoot video.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of fun to have a camera that can shoot moving images. And,
yeah.
You got to go there. You know, you just got to take that step. And video is so important now to the web. So, you know, and I've always worked with a lot of musicians, so that got me into shooting music videos.
Right.
And then because of Suzanne and my art background, you guys dragged me in to shoot your stuff, which has been great. So.
What are you editing on? Everybody, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are doing video now too, and they're maybe struggling or trying to figure out what ends is up or what have you. What is the program you're?
I use Final Cut.
Is that the one? Is that the program?
A lot of my friends use Avid. Some people use Premiere. I just happened to learn Final Cut, so.
Okay. Are you up to 10, or are you using?
Yeah, I'm using 10, and a lot of people, they didn't like it, and you know, I kind of forced myself to learn it because I feel if you don't keep up.
Right.
You know, so you know, 10's been fine for me, and it's a little more visual, so that I think worked in my favor.
Right. And what are you shooting with?
Mostly Canons. They're HD cameras.
Yeah.
And
nice cameras.
They're great cameras, and it's just like changed everything.
Right.
It's really made video so inexpensive, relatively inexpensive compared to what it was before.
Right.
And you know, you can really do some incredible stuff without a big budget.
Now, you know, for years that I've been doing videos with Tim Casey and I have been, you know, that was when we were watching a couple of minutes ago and stuff like that. But you're doing music videos.
Yep.
There's a bunch of bands that have been.
Yeah, it's mostly local artists.
Local artists. That's great. How's that working out?
It's good. It's you know, cross section because first of all, I like all kinds of music from jazz to country to whatever.
That helps.
Which is great.
Yeah.
So I've done, you know, hip hop. I've done rock and roll. I've done solo artists, pop artists. And so it's a real combination of different genres of music, which is fun to me because it keeps me, you know, motivated.
Right. Now, our friends out in BNN land, some of them think that you just point a camera at the guy singing the song and capture it and render it up and throw it up onto Vimeo, but that's not the case, is it?
No.
Can you walk us through just a little bit of the process on shooting a music video?
Yeah. When there's a budget and it's, you know, you've got time, obviously you decide what song it's going to be.
Right.
Then you listen to the song about 25 times I usually get the lyric sheet from whatever the group is, and then start to visualize and brainstorm usually with the group, because to me it's a collaborative, because somebody in the group usually wrote the song.
Right.
So they have a
vision too, yeah, sure.
of what they thought it should be, and then we try to achieve that vision within the budget and the constraints that we have. So the process starts with that, and then you obviously plan your production day. Most videos are shot in one day, or though a couple we've done, you know, it's a second day shoot, like 2 half days, depending on location availability and stuff like that. And then once you've got the shoot, if you do everything correctly, now it's the edit, and that, you know, can take another couple of 3 days.
That quickly?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's turnover.
Yeah, you got to be able to do it that quickly because of the budget. So the edit's very important. It's probably 50% of the equation, frankly. So, and you got to shoot knowing how you're going to edit it together. You know, you've got to make sure you've got all your shots and you've got coverage. So you know, to me, the edit is really, really important.
Right, right. Now, the band's not playing in the background, and they're doing this live. You're working off of a track,
There's a playback
off of the
track.
finished track.
Right, yep.
That's syncing those two up. Is there one of those clap things?
There's a way to do it. There's also software now where you can just literally, it'll read both tracks, sync them up, and then you drop the audio out.
0-0, right?
Yeah, from the visual.
Yeah, 0 is 0, and you just kind of line it up and let her rip.
Yeah.
And then the editing and all of that. Well, Final Cut Pro helps you with that, I'm
exactly,
sure.
Yeah.
It's not iMovie, is it?
No, it's a little more sophisticated than that.
But there are people out there that are using iMovie.
Yeah, you can do simple videos definitely on iMovie without any trouble at all. I mean, it's amazing what you can do.
Yeah. With a little bit of patience, I suppose, and a bunch of mistakes, you can get to it.
It's interesting you bring that up, because I do a lot of simple YouTube videos for a lot of artists that are just trying to, you know, like a one camera, no edit, just give me some good sound, and they put it up on YouTube, and it keeps the budget way, way down. Right. And YouTube's so important for music artists today that they have to have a presence on YouTube. Right. So, you know, they can't be spending $2,000, $3,000 on videos all the time. They need to do something very inexpensive and get it up there quickly. And sometimes they're cover songs. Yeah. So I do a lot of those. I mean, I don't have them in the reel that we're going to see right now.
Cover songs, then you got Harry Fox involved then, because you got to get permission.
You know. YouTube's the wild, wild west. So,
right now. It really can be. Yes. Do you get into producing as much? I mean, I know it's a collaborative thing with the band. Yeah. But do you have the ability to say, look, guys, this is a great song, but it's not ready?
Some of the artists that I work with, that is the case. Yeah. Most of them come to me with finished songs that are, you know, great. Yeah. But sometimes that's the case. I do work with some other groups.
Because I think it's important for people to know that it's not always just what the budget calls for. I mean, sometimes it's, first of all, your name's going on it. Yeah. And you want it to be a quality piece of work that it's not all just, yeah, sure, I'll take your money and get it done and get you out of the garage. Right. It's not necessarily that sometimes.
No, absolutely not. I mean, you don't want to put stuff out there that's not representative of what you can do.
You're right, right.
You know, at the same time, we only have so much time and money to do some of these projects. So I always try to keep it so that it's something that we can achieve that's going to look good. Right. You know, we can't be rolling cars and blowing stuff up. Right, you know, you can't do that. So you got to keep it confined to something that's going to look good and going to cut together well, and then still represent the song.
That's great. That's great. I remember you and I were running through the streets of Boston during Fashion Week one year, just jumping from location to location.
We did such a good job, too, I think, not being stressed. We just like, if it happens, it happens.
We'll get it done, don't worry.
We went from one place to another, trying to find parking. And, you know,
that was fun.
5 minutes late, I think, everything we did.
Everything was 5 minutes late, but we got everything. Yeah. Now, you've brought a clip for us to check out?
Yeah, this is my music video reel, so you're going to see a combination of, you know, 4 or 5 different videos.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at that. That sounds like a great idea. We'll be back. Don't go away. Check this out. Pretty nice marketing piece.
Yeah,
huh?
I want to thank for the music.
Yeah, please. Who are
Obviously,
those guys?
It's bits and pieces of all different videos, but the background music in this is from Perry Geyer, and it's Fierce Tibetan Gods.
Ah.
And he has a studio on Newbury Street called Cyber Sound.
Okay.
And Greg Hawkes from the Cars
I know Greg.
plays in that on that track.
Have you seen his ukulele set?
Yeah, it's so funny you said that. I ran into Greg in the Long Beach airport because I know him a little bit.
Yeah.
And he was in a stairwell playing his ukulele. We were both flying on the same flight back to Boston. And I walked up the stairs, and Greg's like,
Greg Hawkes
"Hey, what are you doing here?"
The
Right?
keyboard player from the Cars is
And then,
playing.
then he was at the at the gate, and he was way off to the side, and he's playing his ukulele. And everyone's looking at this crazy guy playing his ukulele. They don't even know who he is.
And Greg still has that rock and roll look.
He totally does. He's a great guy too.
He's an
really
awesome
good
guy. I've communicated with him a bunch of times because I play the uke too, and he told us about he was playing this a couple of years back. Now he's playing at Passeems in Cambridge, and my good friend Mr. Kurt and I. That's actually when I first met him. We went there to check out his show, and it was just so much fun. He was so much fun. It was great. Being a musician, I know sometimes music can have a edge to it. I mean, the kind of music sometimes. Does that ever play into your decision on who to work with?
Not sure what you mean. It wouldn't deter me from working with
It
anybody.
wouldn't?
No.
Okay.
I mean, as long as it's appropriate. But I've worked with so many different kinds of artists, and to me, it's all their interpretation of everything, anyways. And
yeah. Well, I sometimes hear music that talks about let's kill the cops.
yeah,
and stuff like
that would be a line I wouldn't want to cross.
Okay.
And I haven't run into that. I mean, I think the kind of stuff that I do.
Right.
They're not going to come to me for that kind of thing.
I've stopped a couple of people from coming on here for that.
Yeah.
Just because I wasn't so sure I wanted to talk about how bad the cops or bad.
Yeah, it's there's
person,
places
that
you just
person
shouldn't
was,
go. And
yeah.
it's just not necessary,
Right. I mean, there's a venue for that. And
Yeah,
this isn't it.
I'm certainly a First Amendment. You can say whatever
Absolutely.
you want.
Let her rip.
Yeah, but it's maybe not something I want to identify myself with. So that would draw a line for me. But I haven't really run into that there's anything that's crossed the line.
How has the reception been as far as musicians are going? They're liking your work?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's I know so many musicians from doing still photography and photograph so many different musicians. When you go on my website, there's a whole musician section, and you'll recognize some of the people. So it was easy to cross over to them and then just say, hey, let me do your video too. And collaborate with them. And it's usually somebody I already knew. I knew their music. I knew what their image is like. And that was an easy transition to then, present them in video form.
Right. Do you ever have anybody shooting a second camera for you?
Absolutely, yeah. No, most of the videos I do, it's a crew.
Yeah.
That's a recipe for disaster if you think you can do everything.
One angle shot and we're going to kill you.
Yeah, you just can't do that. So, usually the crews are minimum 2 guys. Most of the time it's 3 or 4. Because you need people to light, and you're moving locations, so it's too much work, and you wouldn't get it done in a timely fashion.
Is it actually throw it in the briefcase, throw it in the back of the van, and let's go over to the Mystic River and get that shot done over there?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, there are places where you need permits.
Oh.
If you're going to set up a tripod.
Oh.
So it depends on what you need to do. Like there's one of the scenes in that video. It's one of the dance bands that I work with, the Avalon Superstars. And we set up on Northern Avenue. We had a track on the, but that was all permitted through Boston Police and everything. So
you're doing it right.
There are times you can, and then there are times, guerrilla style, where you just show up and try to get it done.
Right. My good friend Tim Casey is doing a show here called Transmission Hour, which is bringing people into the studio to record. I'm talking to him with him frowning back at me about going and doing some live in club shots.
Yeah.
Is that anything you've gotten into?
No, I haven't, but something I know enough about that it certainly would be interesting to do.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you do, that's a kind of thing. I mean, this show is shot with 3 cameras. You need at least 3 cameras.
And an audio.
Yeah, to do something like that. You got to get a feed from the board. And that's one of the drawbacks of the cameras that I use. They're Canon still cameras, so the audio is weak. So you really almost have to have a separate audio track that you're going to sync later. They don't have XLR inputs that you can just put into the camera.
So you're taking someone's AIF file and dropping it into...
syncing it up with the video.
Right. Well, that's fabulous. Anything else going on? You got any shows coming up? I mean, I know you.
Yeah,
I know you're
my
still
whole
taking
art thing
pictures.
is, yeah, I'm still taking pictures. My whole famous series that I've been on the show for before.
Yeah.
I've just kind of have been so busy with other things, I haven't really generated some new pieces, and that's something I want to get back to at some point.
I know a woman in Boston that could probably help you out, Suzanne Schultz.
Yeah.
She could probably get you hung anywhere you want.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Do you go and shoot any of those with your still camera? Do you carry a point and shoot around still?
I don't. I'm back to just my phone most of the time now. I mean,
how's the quality on those iPhones?
Well, I mean, let's face it. Most everything, we're not blowing it up big on the wall anymore. Where's it going to go? It's going on the web. So an iPhone is, great. And there's so many different apps now that you can manipulate the photographs. And, so it's crazy.
Andrew, thanks a lot, buddy.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Coming in, I ask her all the time. Sometimes I've asked her on the air, when's Andrew coming on? And she goes, that last time was just no. What a disaster the last time. No. It's, the door's open all the time for you to come in. It'd be nice to do sometime. We've talked about it, is doing a behind-the-scenes thing.
Yeah.
Where people get to see how
the
people hold up signs in my face telling me it's time to get off the air.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. It might be fun to maybe.
They probably don't know how big a crew you have.
They have no idea. The 30 people that are here.
Everyone thinks Glenn can do it by himself.
Yeah, God,
there's just no way.
That is not the case. Thank you, Andrew. Donna, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. It's a pleasure meeting you. Thank you very much. Listen, gang, thanks an awful lot for being here with us. Like I said, it's Holy Week. Happy Easter. Happy Passover. I hope everybody has a safe and happy time with their family. Get close to somebody that you love and spend time with them. That's the key. It's really, really important to do that. And like I like to say, please get out there and do something artful. Do it for yourself this week. But also, I want you to keep in the forefront of your minds our mothers, fathers, sons and daughters, aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews on foreign soil. Please get out, do something artful. Keep them in your mind over this next week into the Easter and Passover season. Listen, gang, thanks an awful lot. Suzanne will be back next week, she promised me. And we'll see you then, okay? Bye-bye, guys.